Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
My name is Kamrul Islam Russell, and this is your IELTS speaking test. Before I start your test, I would like to tell you some rules of the test, and I will tell you the process how I will conduct your test.
Yes, sir.
The test has three parts: part 1, part 2, and part 3. In part 1, I will ask you some general questions about yourself, and then I might ask you some questions about your interests, liking, and disliking. And then I will provide you a booklet as your IELTS speaking part 2, where will be a topic, and you will have to talk on the topic for 1 to 2 minutes. And then, when you will complete your talk on IELTS speaking part 2, we will engage in a long discussion in IELTS speaking part 3, where I will ask you some questions that will be related to your IELTS speaking part 2. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Can I start your exam
Sure,
now?
sir.
Uh, Before I start the exam, I would really like to record your voice for administrative and marking purposes. Do you have any problem if
No,
I
sir.
record your voice?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. You are being recorded now. Your name is Zubaida Salma Tarana. Your candidate number is 206494. The test is taking place on 28th of March 2021. The center number is BD5290. Fine. At the very beginning of the test, I would really love to know your full name.
Thank you, sir. My first name is Jubaida Salma, and my family name is Darna, so you can ask me as my nickname Darna.
Fine. At this time of your test, I want to check your identification. Can you give me your passport, please?
Sure, sir. Here you go my passport with what I have registered for my IELTS exam.
Fine. And Zubaida Salma Tarana and your candidate number. Tarana, where are you from?
I'm from Maisti. It's a district headquarter of Noakhali, which is situated in the southeastern part of Bangladesh, and under the division of Chittagong, to be more exact. If I say you specifically, then it's just belongs between Feni and Lakshmipur district.
Correct. Are you working or studying right now?
Right now, I am working in a local high school at my locality, and I have been working there since 2017 as an English teacher.
As a teacher, do you have any complaints about your job?
Not actually. I have no complaint about my job because it's a novel professions, and it's a very respectable jobs for me. There is a lots of opportunity to do, but what kinds of facilities and charms or attractiveness which attracts me, I think I don't have anywhere in any other jobs.
Okay, won't you do any other job expect teaching in your future if you get a better salary than that you are doing right now?
No, I don't think so. I couldn't never switch any kinds of jobs if they pay me better salaries. I always tries to stay in this
Oh,
ground.
I can say that you are a born teacher.
Definitely.
So now I would like to ask you a few more questions in this part. Let's consider countryside. Would you like to live in the countryside in the future?
Definitely, sir. I would like to live in a countryside in my future because it's a serenity, tranquility, peacefulness, much fascinates me. And I think most of the people, Bangladeshis people especially, they are very much fond of to live in there. And especially if I say about the people of a village or rustic peoples, they are very much friendly and family oriented.
Great. What do people living in the countryside like to do?
Well, especially they like the very environment which attracts me as I am attracted by it. and most of the peoples here live for have peacefulness to there, and living cost or any other facilities are there which is totally disappeared in urban areas. I think it's the very issue to live in village.
Fine. What are the benefits of living in a rural area compared to living in urban area?
Thank you, sir. Urban areas have much more facilities, and it provides much more facilities also. But rural areas is totally different from others. Already I have said there is a peacefulness, tranquility is everywhere. Whereas in the urban areas, traffic jams, chaos are everywhere. So there is no place where you just take a fresh breath. And at the same time, in people rustic areas, all of the costs, living costs are stunningly low. But in the urban areas, same sorts of things you just purchase excessive to give excessive rates.
Great. Now, let's talk about teamwork. When was the last time working with a team?
Well, sir, it just before 2 days. I with my some colleagues and I work together approximately 19 hours for a recruitment issue in my work station. And it was a great experience for me to do group works with them.
Okay, so do you really like to work with other people or by yourself only?
Definitely, I like to work teamwork, especially rather than to work in a solo. Because
Why is that?
If I work in a solo, then my experience not being affluented. But whenever we just work in a group, then we can share our ideas, thoughts, and we can share our feelings, appearance, or any kinds of expressions. And that's why I like it very much.
Okay, if I tell you uh, to tell that what's the most important thing about teamwork?
Definitely, effective communication is the most important thing in communications. Whenever we just do anything in a team, then we can share our ideas. Already, I have said, and we can gather much of knowledge from any others, and it will be very effective for to success or to achieve in our respective goals. So I think it's communication is the most important things in the teamwork.
Fine. Do you like to be a leader in the future? Because you know being a leader is a great thing and you can lead the society or community. So would you like to be the leader?
Exactly, I like it to be. It's my desire to become a great leader. Already, I play as a leader in my workstation, especially team leader. Under my department, there are 6 or 7 members who works for the team, and I always support they support themselves to make anything or any kinds of works to get much more easy, and I share my experience to them to work grand success. I believe that teamwork makes the dream work, so I always try to make sure that our teamwork will be very fruitful.
Great. So you might be a great leader in the future. And this is the end of your IELTS speaking part 1. Now I'm moving to IELTS speaking part 2. And in this part, I would really love to give you a booklet, and you will have to describe a person who has done a lot of work to help people. So at this moment, I'm providing you a piece of paper and a pencil to take some notes. And here is your topic. I'm allowing you 1 minute to think about what you are going to say on the topic. And after 1 minute, I will ask you to start. Do you understand?
Thank you,
Your
sir.
time starts now. Your time's up. You should continue.
Thank you, sir, for this time. I would like to utter myself about a remarkable person who is remarkable, well-known, familiar in the and at the same time is a business icon in United States of America. He is renowned or remarkable in the sectors of his humanitarian attitude, and he is also known as a philanthropist, and he is none but Warren Buffett.
That's great.
A great leader, I think. He was born in August 30, 1930 at Omaha, Nebraska. It's the states of United States of America. He is now at present he is a CEO and a chairman at the Berkshire Hathaway companies, which is a remarkable multinational companies in USA. He just Mr. Buffett give large, very small portions of amounts of money to his three childs of the very foundations who runs. Each of his sons runs these foundations, and this time Mr. Buffett is committed to the very people that 99% of his profit or net worth he will give to the welfare of the countries who are those are belonging in the under the poverty line.
Right.
Its net worth is 116 billion American dollar. Already he has said that announced in a meeting that 1.4 billion American dollar he will donate it for the 5 charitable foundations.
It's amazing.
And about the Mr. Warren Buffett, moreover, I can add it that he just pay lower portions of taxes rather than his secretary, so we can easily understand that how much broad-minded he has, and at the same time he is a very helpful to joining in the business sector in Oman. His Berkshire Hathaway's company is a remarkable companies which runs actually net jets, then Duracell batteries, Hazelberg diamonds, etc. So it's a very easy for us to know this great or kind-hearted persons. If I get the chance or opportunities to meet him, definitely it will be a grand success moment in my life. And if our country's people or another country's people follow these kind-hearted persons, then hunger or hunger or any kinds of problems will definitely be disappeared in the world.
Fine. Thank you very much. And this is the end of your IELTS speaking part 2.
Thank you, sir.
So can I get back my papers with the booklet and pencils too? So Tarana, you are talking about a person who has done a lot of work to help people, and I would really love to ask you a few more questions in IELTS speaking part 3, which will be related to your IELTS speaking part 2. Now let's talk about helping other people in the community. First, tell me, what are some of the ways people can help others in a community, and which is most important?
Thank you, sir. In this matter, I can say that if you give me the chance to interpret myself, there is a lot of areas or arenas to help peoples, especially if I say more specifically, then around our localities, old people or disabled peoples are belongings, and we have to help each others, especially those persons who need help from ourselves.
And why do you think some people like to help other people?
Definitely because it may be cause if I help any one person, it will be more pleasure for me to have, and at the same time it might be also a happy moment because definitely it will be more specifically I say it is just might be happened that once I had helps from those people, so it's a favor for me or the very chance for me to help these persons in these times.
Great, great. Now tell me, some people say that people help others in the community more now than they did in the past. Do you agree or disagree with the statement that people make?
I think it's not quite true enough because at this time or in this periods, internet facilities or any kinds of facilities, we can easily know what's the problem is going on to besides my house or beside the very countries in our countries. But in the very past, we don't know, or we didn't be allowed to know about their problems. So it will be definitely difficult. It was difficult for my ancestors peoples
Fine.
to find out their problems and to solve these
Okay,
problems.
okay. So you are in a neutral position in this respect. Now let's consider community services. So what type of services, such as libraries or health centers, are available to the people who live in your area? Do you think there are enough of them?
Definitely, it's enough. Libraries and health or Medicare facilities is most important and crucial for every communities. So there is which is allotted to my communities from the from the government is quite enough, but it should be increased gradually by the government and individual. We also come forward to increase these facilities because there is no efficient doctors or nurse is available. And if I say in these times about the public libraries or any other things, then we can see that remarkable or renowned books or enough or sufficient books are not there. So these programs should be expanded by the government.
Why do you think you should pay for the services available to the people in a community?
It's a controversial question, so sir. Let me allow to interpret.
And should it be government or individual people who will
I
pay
think
the bill?
both can play the very roles to develop our countries. If the common people pay taxes, then it will be very effective for the government to take immediate steps to increase much more facilities for our betterment. If I exemplify our Padma bridge, then whenever our government is applying for the budget from the World Bank refused, but our government just trying to themselves to complete these for our own financial services. It just being possible to the very people who are giving taxes like me and you and I also. So I think it's the common duty to every person, or at the same time, government also to come
You
forward
are trying to
solve
say that it's actually a combined duty.
combined duties. Combined
Fine,
duties.
fine.
If the common people are being allowed to come forward, then our government, it will be very possible or very easy task to our government to complete all of this task for the betterment of their common people.
Now, what if when the poor people cannot afford the bill?
Because they are not being allowed, or they have no enough money to pay taxes.
What if then? And should government pay the full bill, or the rest of the bill that poor people
It
cannot
will
afford?
be a burden for the government. If participations or vice versa work is there, then it will be very fruitful and no burden will be attributed to our government, and our government can run all of his development activities very smoothly. I think so.
Great. We had a great conversation, and this is the end of your IELTS speaking test.
Thank you, sir.
So, Tarana, I would like to give you a feedback on your speaking, and I was amazed to see that your speaking was astonishing. And now let's talk about your pronunciation, where I found that you were facing a lot more difficulties in pronunciation. Though you used a range of pronunciation features with mixed control, but not all of the positive features. Your pronunciation could generally be understood, but it would be better And for that reason, I'm going to give you a 6.5 band in your pronunciation. On the other hand, where you had done a brilliant work was your fluency and coherence. You spoke fluently with only rare repetition or self correction. That's great. And you developed topics coherently and appropriately. So I'm going to give you a 9 band score in your fluency and coherence. Let's have a look on lexical resources, which I think is your strongest side of speaking. You used a range of high-level words, used a variety of language expressions with a few idiomatic expressions, and for that reason, I'm going to give you 8.5 band score in your lexical resource. Finally, if I take into consideration with your grammatical range and accuracy, so your grammatical range was outstanding and you used a wide range of structure flexibly and you produced a majority of error-free sentences in your speech. But only very occasional inappropriacies or non-systematic errors happened in your speaking. Like when you were trying to say "I try," that you said "I try." That was a slip of tongue. So with some occasional errors, I did not find anything that can ruin your marks in grammatical range and accuracy. And for that reason, I am giving you a 8.5 band score in your grammatical range and accuracy. So overall, if I calculate your band score in 4 criteria, then your overall score is 8. So it's amazing, and thank you for joining us, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.